What is up, everybody? Good evening. Welcome to Nightcap with Scone. Hope y'all are doing awesome. What a day. Oh my God, what a news dump day. Man, y'all do me a favor. If you're on Facebook, like the page, share the post. You know the drill. Like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. If you're with us on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button if you would. Let's get rolling, man. Let's get rolling. Share this thing out. What a day. What a news dump of a day. Saints begin training camp tomorrow. Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton pissed about Mike Thomas, justifiably. Let me have a few of these and I might tell you what I know. NBA draft is tomorrow, and then how about, by the way, Ed Orgeron today at the Baton Rouge Rotary Club. I thought he killed it today. He was so loose and so fun. I wish he could be like that around the media. But man, he crushed it today. It was awesome. We'll talk a lot about what Coach O had to say if you want to talk about that. And also, and then man, if y'all haven't seen, how about it, man? The Big 12 attorneys sent ESPN a cease and desist. Basically, the Big 12 is implying that ESPN has been conspiring, trying to encourage other leagues to poach Big 12 members, to ruin the Big 12, to cause the Big 12 to dissolve, so that way Texas and OU could get out of their grant of rights before it expires. What a time to be alive. All right, let's say some what's up, man. Whatever y'all got, fire away, questions, let's talk. Saints, Tigers, expansion. I will stay here as long as y'all have questions. And primarily because I'm going to shout out HUDCO. Y'all can do me a solid about letting us come do a roof inspection at HUDCO. Of course, drink you some Sazerac Rye. And this device right back here is the Air and Surface Pro from mycleanliving.net. Y'all have heard me talk about it. I told you I have one for my home. That device right there purifies up to 3,000 square feet, killing every pathogen. The virus that causes COVID, flu, strep, staph, odor, all of it right there. Boom. It's awesome. mycleanliving.net. Okay, let's say some good evenings to everybody. Jonathan Kerr, what's up, man? Damn early for something. Good to see you there, bro. Hope you're puffing on a stogie. Chet Buxton, what's up, my dude? Bubba Tatum, what's up, man? Jesse Brown, screen's black on YouTube. I see it fine. Anybody else having a problem with the screen on YouTube? Jesse, you might want to just close out and then reset. Thomas Willie, you talked about Jackson Hayes being arrested. Man, I had it on the rundown to talk about today on AFR. We never got to it because that's how slammed this day was. I mean, I hope it's nothing more than a young guy being a drunk idiot making a bad decision and learns from it. Carly Cat, sounds like the Saints are pissed about Mike Thomas. Looks like I was right about Mike Thomas kick rocks. Carl, you were wrong about Mike Thomas because your impression or your opinion of Mike Thomas Carl, your opinion of Mike Thomas was that Mike Thomas put it off intentionally because he didn't want to play. And that's bullshit, Carl. Because I'll tell you point blank, I know for a fact that's not true. I know for a fact that's not true. Bottom line is, man, everybody can take medical advice. You have team doctors. A lot of guys have their own doctors as well. And dudes can make their own, everyone in life can make their own decision with the advisement and the advice that they have. And Mike Thomas thought he could rehab it and come back. Didn't work out that way. Sucks. No other way to say it. But anyone implying that Michael Thomas doesn't want to play football is full of shit. By the way, if you're new, we curse on Nightcap with Scone. Brian and Annie Penton, good evening from Cleveland. Cheers, got my Diet Dr. Pepper. Did you see the story Rocker might go back to Vandy? So, Brian, I did. Here's the thing. Brian's talking about Kumar Rocker. Mets drafted him 10th. They agreed to a deal over Slot. Slot was 4.7. They agreed to a deal around 6. Now they say they don't want to pay him that value because they didn't like his elbow on the MRI. Brian, we have this stuff happen every year. Every year there's a top prospect who has leverage, threatens to go back to school, and the last day they sign. So Kumar Rocker's going to sign. He's going to go to the Mets, and they'll give him his money, and I'll be stunned if it does. I mean, if you remember, same thing happened with Aaron Nola. Same thing happened with Alex Lang. Alex Lang literally went to the final minute with the Cubs before they gave him his deal. Happens, man. I'll be stunned if you don't sign. Cliff Nelson, what's up? Scott Thibodeau, what up? Watching from work tonight. Thank you for being there, man. Thomas Lamont, what a freaking summer this has been. Talk about constant big news. Hey, Thomas, that's why I say people who talk about the dog days of summer, lazy people in this industry. There's no such thing. There are always storylines. Ryan Dunn, will Rouse's carry that no slaw extra toast brew? How light was it really? I'm a big Mick Ultra guy. So Ryan, I do like a real kind of hazy IPA. Like Ghost in the Shell. I really like that. The no slaw extra toast thing was it's a beer from Parish Brewing, by the way. They collaborated with Raising Cane's. It really was light. And I don't love lemon, but it really was light. 7% alcohol by volume, it'll get you, bro. Edge of the Boot, love seeing Coach O having fun press conference. So that wasn't a press conference, remember that. Wasn't a press conference. That was his speech to the Rotary Club. So the head coach at LSU every year, that last Wednesday before they report for fall camp, speaks at the Baton Rouge Rotary Club. That's been a tradition for as long, probably as long as Jerry DiNardo, maybe before then. But anyway, but yeah, he was great today. I wish he'd be like that with the media. Cliff Nelson, Thomas, Willie, Janet Anderson, good evening. Cliff Nelson, Pure Kentucky, new juice. I got good stuff. There you go. Nyquilus Dilwad, what's up, man? Anyone else get a personal invite from Matt's cell phone to come hang out? Yes, you did. Everyone did, as a matter of fact. They got the text. I'm not going to call you out by name, though. I'll let you continue to exist as Nyquilus. Because it feels like that would be bad etiquette. But if I have much more of this, who knows? Who knows? The night may be young. Keep that up, bro. Kyle Milliken, trade day, you got it, man. Alex Day, little Knob Creek. So by the way, I'm drinking. Shout out to my guy Stephen Robeek. I don't know if he's watching. Might be. I don't see him. Scrolling Facebook. I don't see him. Anyway, Stephen Robeek, good buddy of mine, gave me a whole box full of samples, and this is what I'm sipping tonight is the Jefferson's Chef Collaboration, batch 17, bottle 4041, 90 proof. Boom. Got it. Enjoying this too. 90 proof is pretty good speed, man. Brandon DeVille, Josh Smith has just been traded to the Rangers. I'm really disappointed. So as a Yankee fan, I'm pumped the Yankees are getting Joey Gallo. As a Calicut LSU Yankees fan, I am so depressed that Josh Smith is being traded. Like, so depressed. Brandon English, what's up, man? Just got back for 7 days. Drink one for me. Will do, man. Brant Roban, sip some Jefferson's Ocean Voyage 23. Is it an art to go trying to taste all the different notes? I don't know that I would say there's an art. If you're wondering about, that's just sipping more and learning your palate. One mistake a lot of people make is that when they sip, they leave the whiskey on their palate. Don't do that, 'cause you'll burn it. So, like, you want to just get it down there, feel the palate, and then the finish. Larry Cavalier, what's up, man? Matt French, Brant Roban, Tacoma Strickland, sipping on Coke Zero. There you go. Do what you got to do tonight. No judgment here from anybody. Just have a good time. Jerry DeLucky, a little Basil Hayden. There you go, bro. Joseph Davis, Patrick Dorsey. Are the Saints looking to move Thomas? No way, Patrick. You got to keep in mind Mike Thomas's contract, man. Like, this is the thing, all right? If you're going to move Michael Thomas, someone would have to give you assets that are equivalent of a number one receiver in the NFL. Like, for example, Brandon Cooks last year got traded. It was Cooks and a 4 for a 2. Mike Thomas would get more than that. So, like, you're talking about someone having to trade first-round picks for Mike Thomas. And in so doing, they would be taking on a contract that was a 5-year, $96.25 million contract, of which he has played 2 seasons. So, man, no. No, honestly. I don't know who would take on that deal and give up assets to take on that deal. So why is Sean Payton pissed? Who's he pissed at? Well, I mean, he's pissed at Mike Thomas for not having the surgery back then. But the idea that Mike Thomas put it off because he didn't want to play football is just bullshit. Like, that's just fundamentally not true. He's a dude that wants to play. He wants to be out there. He wants to be great. He wants the ball. I mean, all that stuff. But it's just a situation where he tried to rehab it instead of having surgery. Thought he could rehab it instead of having surgery. And ultimately, he couldn't. So, it sucks. Scott Illuminate, can we get a preview of the back patio? Scott, so Pinnacle Exterior Construction is redoing our back, and they're building us an outdoor kitchen. And I am so fired up about it. Scott, I would, but here's the problem, man. I've got 2 devices, right? I've got Facebook on my Surface and YouTube on my phone, and I don't think I can bring them both outside. So let me just wait till it's done, and we'll do a show out. Like, as soon as it's done, we will do Nightcap from outside. I'll give you all the full tour. Here for the cussing and the booze. Heard the cussing. What are we drinking? Jefferson's Chef Collaboration sample from my buddy Stephen Robique. Shelby, thoughts on Gallo to the Yankees? I'm excited about Gallo, not excited about losing Josh Smith, and I don't like giving up the pitching either. Michael, Motocek, didn't think he don't want to play, but Michael Thomas and the Saints need to definitely get on the same page. So, here's the thing I'll tell y'all, man. Like, a football player or pro athlete is just like anybody else, like you or me or anybody. Like, nobody can make them physically do something they don't want to do. So, the Saints can't make Mike Thomas have surgery. So, if the season ends and he has a physical and they look at his ankle and they say, man, someone suggests surgery, he can go see his doctor, get a second opinion, like all that's very normal. And here's to tell you something I know about. I know this about medicine. I know this. I learned this with our situation with Drew, living in a hospital for 9 months. There are many different ways to practice medicine. Some doctors are super conservative. Some are a bit more liberal with the way they practice. More aggressive, that's probably a better term to use. Some are old school, some are new age. Like, some want to cut, some try to put off surgery as long as possible. Like, there's a lot of different ways to practice medicine. So you gather as much information as you can, make the best decision for yourself. And Mike Thomas is trying to put off surgery. And it sucks. There's no way. Like, there's no other way around it. And if I'm the Saints, I get it. I'm pissed. Like, if you had the recommendation to have surgery back after the season and you passed on that recommendation to go an alternate route and it didn't work, I'd be pissed because now you're in a situation where you're going to be without your best offensive player with respect to Alvin Kamara, your second best offensive player for 6 weeks. Kurt Taylor, what's up, man? Seth Talley, saw Josh Smith getting traded. Yeah, man, I'm bummed. Kirk, thoughts on the Big 12 sending the cease and desist to ESPN? Okay, so I'm not surprised to this extent. If you're the Big 12 right now, you're fighting for survival. Like, Texas and OU were the only thing propping up your league. Your league would have folded 10 years ago, but for Texas and OU staying. So now they're gone. They've clearly been working on this for months. You feel scorned, not only scorned, but threatened. I mean, like, your literal life as a conference is threatened. So you got to lawyer up and spare no expense. And basically, the Big 12 Bob Bowlesby told Ross Dellinger, they put out the call to the remaining 8 schools and said, hey, don't be influenced. Let's stay together, and let's make Texas and Oklahoma honor this contract for the next 5 years. I don't think that's going to happen because every other school in that conference now has to be thinking self-preservation. I'll give you a for instance. Let's say you're Baylor and the Pac-12 calls and says, hey, we want you. And your options are, I take the bird in hand, right? Or I stick it out with these other 8 that literally I know the death date. It's ending July 1, 2025. And what are my options then? I mean, you have a bird in hand. I kind of see, I get taking it. But it is something, man, to watch the Big 12 threaten legal action against its television partner, its broadcast partner. Stunning. Patrick Dorsey, Matt, does Coach O know he's got a dominant team this year? You know, Patrick, I don't know that I would say that, but what I will say is this: having covered Ed for as long as he's been the head coach, he clearly wears his emotions on his sleeve. The game in 2017 at Mississippi State, when they got shithoused, y'all remember that game? Before the game, Ed Orgeron was so tight, as tight as I've ever seen him. I mean, just the smallest little shit, MFing dudes up and down. Like, he was just, you could tell, it wasn't interim Ed. He knew what was at stake, was on the line, and he was tight, bro. He was tense, and it showed, and the team played that way. In 2018, was a complete 180. He knew he had a good team. He knew he had great leadership, even against that schedule. And look, they went 9-3 and won a college football playoff game, or a New Year's Six game. 2019, they just dump trucked everybody. But I'm telling you, last year, I've told you all this 100 times, man. Last year was as bad culturally as I have ever seen it at LSU, ever. And a lot of it was Ed's fault. I mean, he's the head coach. He put people in place. He mismanaged people. He did a very bad job, and it showed. But he looks calm and comfortable right now. Like, I think he knows he's all of those ancillary. Like, LSU's always got talent, but all of those things that ate away at the culture and the fabric of the program a year ago, those things feel better now. Like, they legit. I mean, y'all know me. Like, I'm not gonna bullshit anybody. No one's ever gonna excuse me or confuse me being an Ed Orgeron homer. Right? I mean, I'm just telling you, like, the things that were his fault that ate away at the fabric of the program last year, he spent this offseason trying to fix. And and it's better. How much better? I don't know, but it's better. It's better than it was. Now, that don't mean the title line stuff goes away, because all that stuff is still very real. I'm just talking about with respect to football going into this season. Everybody understand where I'm going there? Corey White, Matt, do you think the changeover in the Saints medical staff had anything to do with the delayed surgery? Corey, I can tell you no, 100% no. All right, I'll tell you candidly. So, Dr. Chip Bankston, who did the surgery on my knee, and I've known Chip a long time, was the Saints doctor who just resigned, and I'll tell you it had nothing to do with this. Chip has a young family, and his practice is here in Baton Rouge, and there was a lot of travel, and it was just a life decision that had literally zero to do with this at all. I'm not telling you, I'm not telling you anything that I know about doctor, patient, I have no idea. I mean, that's all HIPAA, and I'm just telling you, I know why Chip left the Saints. It had nothing to do with this. Matt, Bishop's letter creating waves again, setting up mask mandate, I believe. I thought that they weren't going to do masks, but I'll tell y'all, man, hey, for real, anybody watching, by the way, 82 on YouTube, thank y'all so much. Please hit that like button, and on smash the like button. And 68 on Facebook. I'm dead serious, y'all. I'll post the link. Hang on. This is the Air and Surface Pro from mycleanliving.net. That's the thing that is NASA technology. It was initially developed to be used on the International Space Station to keep the air and surfaces clean on the International Space Station. The technology has been licensed and it's been sold now for years. It just only now has a real functional use because of COVID. And I'll tell y'all, I've been endorsing them for months now. Y'all have heard me talk about them. I bought one for my house. I think about it a lot, like with Drew, just keeping our home clean. But I'm gonna tell y'all, in the last month, the number of schools, daycares, like those types of places that are legit worried about this school year and reverting to what happened last year and all that sort of stuff, they're the ones that have been making all the calls about this thing. So if you work at a school or daycare or anywhere, restaurants, bars, there's a huge, one of the big plants in Baton Rouge just did a deal with them. So I just posted in the YouTube chat the link for the website. I pinned it there on Facebook. If you go to the website, the phone number at the top, 413-2299, 413-2299, that's a direct line to Jennifer, who's the rep here. And I'll tell you this candidly, you can order online and it'll deliver straight to your home. You never have to talk to a rep or anything. But if you call her directly, a lot of times they have discounts. Like the reps can give you discounts. So strongly recommend that if you're thinking about that. Churches, restaurants, basically any place, your home, any place. All right, let's see. Where are we? Get back over to YouTube. Billy Flanagan, maybe I missed it. What's the percentage shutdown killing the Rose Bowl trip? So Billy, I'll tell you this, man. I don't know, but I'll tell you all this. And I'm gonna get back to sports in a second, but that is sports related. Y'all know, you may not know this. Politically, I am agnostic. I don't care. Socially, I'm moderate. Fiscally, I am conservative. Politically, I'm nothing. I have no faith in any politicians on either side of the aisle, and I don't care about politics. So don't bring that shit here because I don't care. None of them have anybody's best interest in mind. Their only interest is getting elected, staying in power, and it's fucked up, and I have no desire to talk about any of it. Here's what I do care about. Number one is my son, Drew, who many of you know was born with a bad heart and one functioning lung. That ain't good for respiratory viruses. We have been aware of that forever. We all had COVID in November, and we all did fine. Drew did great. COVID was, thankfully, very easy on children who had healthy lung, or people with healthy lung tissue. So we had no problem with COVID. As it's adapted, it is now starting to affect younger people. So that's one concern for me. And two is exactly what Billy asked. Y'all, September 4th, my happy ass is supposed to be in the Rose Bowl. And I'm fired up about that trip. And I am terrified that they're not going to let me fly into Los Angeles because I haven't been vaccinated. So I am going tomorrow to the Baton Rouge General Express Care location on Highland Road, and I'm getting my ass vaccinated for two reasons. Primarily because of my son, because we are seeing now it's affecting younger people. And two, because I don't want them to tell me I can't get on a plane and fly to LA in September to go to that game because I ain't got a shot. So if that's what I got to do to go to this game, damn right, I'm going to do it. Peyton says they're still for an outside cornerback. How much do we have to give up? It depends who it is, Jesse. Merrick Mathern, what's up? Nyquillis, I stopped building a little bar top on my mini fridge to watch this. There you go, bro. I appreciate you being here, Nyquillis. Ryan Dunn, pick up a 6-pack this weekend. You got it, bro. Michael McNett, what up? Matthew Pittman, what up? Ryan Dunn, honest question, and don't have to answer if you choose not to. Of course I don't have to answer. I don't want to. Are you and Jordy still cool? Hell yeah, bro. Man, listen. Wish I could do whiskey and wine. Listen. Jordy Collada and I are awesome. Saw him at media days. We hung out. Jordy and I texted 2 days ago. Like, we probably talked to him last week. Like, what happened with Jordy was a professional thing. And, like, personally, like, I love the guy. I mean, I will always love the guy. I mean, he and I have been close since, dude, I'll tell you all a story. In 2007, I was working at the Score 1210. And, like, I'm up there on a random Saturday, like, board opping Jag Journal or something on Saturday. And there was a back door. It was the fifth floor of the Xerox building was the clear channel. And there was like you can go through the main office, or there was like a side door around. There was like an atrium, you can go in one of the side doors. We got you to the studio side. And it's Saturday. I opened the door. It's freaking Kalata. That might have been the first time I ever met him. I mean, I guess I knew him from Catholic, but, and he's like asking me if I can help him get a job. I'm like, bro, I just started here as like a part-time weekend guy. I can't, what do you want me to do? And then when I got hired at Guarantee, I mean, I was 27 years old. I was probably there for a month, and dude starts blowing me up. Hey man, got to get me in. What can you do? Help out. Need a job. I'll do anything. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I just started here. Like, I've been here a month. I got no clout for anything. I'm learning my way. But man, that fall when LSU football was about to start, 2010 season, and they had media day, LSU media day. It was one hour where you could interview anybody, freshmen, veterans, coaches, anybody. And so I called Kalata. I was like, hey man, listen, get a recorder. I'll go do the offense. You go do the defense. Get as many player interviews as you can, because this is audio we're going to use all year for the guys that you can't really talk to, freshmen, quarterbacks, etc. Okay. So we hustle hour, get all the interviews we can. We're finished up. All right, man, what'd you get? Yeah, I did also. Look at his recorder. He didn't record any of it. It's like one of those things where you had it, like, the record button twice, like for it to actually roll, and he didn't hit it twice ever. So we had nothing from that. But anyway, my point is, dude, I've known that guy forever, man. I love the guy. I wish nothing but great things for him professionally. And he'll be great, man. But yeah, dude, we're good. Yes. Trey Day, what's up? Nyquil, you call me out by name, you owe me a face-to-face nightcap. I'll bring that Elijah. What Elijah you got, man? I got way better stuff than you, I'm sure. You seen my top shelf, bro? And you can come over. Don't stalk me in church, bro. That's creepy. Wesley Randall, what up? Jeff Eckermeyer. What do you know about the wide receiver the Saints got from the Jets? So it's Chris Hogan, man. Chris Hogan, he won a couple of Super Bowls with the Patriots, man. You recognize Chris Hogan. Tall, lanky guys, white guys. Your typical Belichick wide receiver. Brings his lunch pail to work. Not super fast. Just a big possession guy over the middle. He's maybe they could ask him to play the Mike Thomas role, but he ain't Mike Thomas. He's 33 years old, bro. He was out of the league, man. He was playing lacrosse, Anyway. Brant Grace, what's up? Let's see. Jeremy Weiss. Been a long time since I felt all three major sports going into the season have a great chance to all be top 10 teams. Really excited to see Will Wade's team. Jeremy, I agree with you. I think football will be. Listen, I think I've said this 100 times. It was interesting because I heard Ed say it at media days too. I wonder if he was listening. This is 2018. That's what this season is for LSU. They're not good enough to win a national title. They're not going to win the SEC. But they're going to have some really, really nice wins. Probably some disappointing losses. If you remember 2018, they got shut out by Bama. They lost the 7 overtime game to A&M, and then they lost at Florida. And that was a game where Burrow threw a couple of late interceptions. But you had Cole Tracy's walk-off against Auburn. You blew out Georgia. You had some really nice wins that year, too. Beat Miami in the opener. I think this year is going to be similar. You're going to have some really nice wins that get you encouraged like it's coming. And you're probably going to have some disappointing losses, too. I think it's a 9-3 team. I think this is a carbon copy of 2018. LSU fan Matt, what's up? What do you think the LSU UCLA game will look like score wise? How will the offense defense play? If you had to guess, I feel like UCLA may be a bit underrated. So here's what's interesting, man. UCLA, and by the way, I know when we do this show, just to everybody who's watching, I'll stay here for as long as y'all have questions and comments. I understand there's a bunch of comments that it's going to take me a while to get through them all. But if you're patient, I promise you, I'll get to your question or your comment on Facebook and on YouTube. So UCLA last year, we start talking about UCLA a little bit. So UCLA last year was they finished 3-4. They lost their open to Colorado 48-42. Utah game got canceled. They beat Cal. They lost to Oregon 38-35, lost by 3. They beat Arizona State, and they lost to USC 43-38. And that was a game where they led until the last seconds. Keaton Slovis threw the game-winning touchdown pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown with 36 seconds left. It was a 2-play, 43-yard touchdown drive to win the game. Astonishing how they blew that game. They should have beaten USC last year. Blew it. Completely blew it. And then the same thing with Stanford. They lost in double overtime, 48-47. Blew it. And they blew the game against Oregon, too. They led Oregon. Forgive me. They rallied against Oregon and came up short. They were winning just before halftime. Oregon took the lead, and they kept rallying, and then they allowed Oregon to score with about a minute and a half left in the third, and then they scored. That's what it was. So it was a 3-point game. They rallied, but came up short. My point is, they blew the USC game. They lost 4 games last year by a total of... let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15. They lost 4 games by a total of 15 points. I mean, and 2, they completely gagged away. They completely gagged the SC and Stanford games. I guess my point is, that's a team that's better probably than we're thinking. And their quarterback is Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Has started every year. He's a junior, but this is his 4th year because of COVID. So he started for 3 years. He'll be a 4-year starter this year. So there's some stuff there that makes you go, be careful. Cross country team, maybe a little bit on the come. They're playing Hawaii week 0, so they're going to have played a game before LSU goes out there. That's one where you look at the point spread, and it opened up at 2, 2.5. It's up to 4.5 now, and I think it's going to climb over a touchdown before kickoff. But just one to file away, Let's see. Mark Allen. What'd you think about O saying the O-line is the strongest group on the team? I'm a little concerned about it, Mark, honestly. Because last year Ed Orgeron did say defense is better right now than at any point a year ago. But I know that was a shot at Dave Aranda. Because Ed and Dave, just personality-wise, were so different. That was a shot at Dave Aranda. I don't think he's taking a shot at anybody with that. I could believe him if he says the defensive line is the strength of the team. But the offensive line, I'm going to have to see it. Devin Kelly, what's up with that post title? I think I'll title it Big 12 sends ESPN a C&D. That's a cease and desist. Deborah Russell, listening to Chuck Oliver. When get the message, Bo Hudson? Was listening to Chuck Oliver. Oh, gotcha. Brandon, I didn't email you back, Brandon. That's my bad. I will. I promise I will. Joseph Davis, assuming the Sips and Sooners to the SEC happens, what do you think goes down division-wise? I think what we're going to see are pods. I think you're going to see four-team pods. You play everyone in your pod, and then you play 2 teams from each of the other 3 pods on a rotating basis. So in a 4-year cycle, you will play in every venue in the SEC, and every team in the SEC will play at your venue. Go to a 9-game conference schedule. Hey, Drew Brister, as of today's Michael Thomas contract a success? No, you can't say that. I can't say that. He was hurt all of last year, and he's going to miss at least 5 games this year. Derek Bonvillain, Matt, what does the Saints the Saints get Quan back? I think really good. I think they likely need to get him to come down a little bit on his price, but I think it's one of those guys that you go through camp, and if you're not sold on Bond or Ohio State. Good evening. David Scott Roberts, still deployed in the Middle East with the military. We'll be drinking a beer at the house for sure during the BAM game. God bless you, David. Stay safe, man. Come home safe. We're pulling for you, and thank you for your service, man. Thank you for what you do. Jonathan Martin, Mark Cheers, what's up? What do you think about the Kumar Rocker news? Talked about that a little bit. I think he'll sign. Brant Roban, this happens every year. Brant Roban, what do you think of the future expansion of college football, LSU possibly getting different slotted teams, not having to face Bama? I'm okay with it. You know, Brant, listen, 50 years ago, LSU and Tulane was a giant game. Nobody gives a shit now. And that's okay. Yes, my grandfather, he'd tell you LSU Ole Miss was the biggest game on the schedule. It's not anymore. And that's okay. The most iconic moment of the 2019 season was not against Auburn or Florida or Bama. The most iconic moment of the 2019 season was 3rd and 17. For all of LSU history, if you say 3rd and 17, people will know exactly what you're talking about. So I think sometimes we get romantic about moments and rivalries, and the shit don't matter. Like, what matters is that you play meaningful games and get to watch your team play in them. You know what doesn't matter? A 12-game schedule where 3 of your games are against horseshit teams that nobody wants to see, where the point spread is 50. No interest. No interest. So if you play Bama every other year, Auburn every other year, okay, I'm fine. Florida every other year, look, I'm good. I'm good. Just give me 10, 11, 12 really good games that I want to see every year. I'd much rather that to what we have right now. This crap schedule, this crap format where LSU hasn't played at Kentucky since 2007. I mean, LSU's going to go almost 15 years before they play in Athens. What the hell is that? Like, who could what? Just to preserve Georgia, Auburn? Who cares about, like, you as, let me flip it on your head, Brant. Or that wasn't Brant. It was Brant. Do you care about Georgia and Auburn playing every year? Do you care about Bama and Tennessee playing every year? Excuse me, Bama kicking the shit out of Tennessee every year? Who cares? Like, let's not get romantic about it, man. Let's have a system that's equitable for everybody that produces 12 weeks of great games. Hey, Dad, what's up? Tony Williams, Matt French. When are you going to start bringing Russ Mitchell back? Usually Russ comes the week before the season. So the week before there's games, he'll come on, we'll do a preview, and then we'll roll from that point. Daniel Dorn, what's up? Mark Vatanovich, who are the Pelicans draft tomorrow? Man, Mark, I promise you this, they ain't going to use all 6 picks. But I really do hope, I would love to see them take, if they stay at 17, I would love to see them take Cameron Thomas at 17. 10 was going to be a reach. 17 is perfect. They need shooters. He can shoot. He can score. Give me Cameron Thomas at 17. I would love to see it. Saints training camp opens to fans on Friday, but pre-planned lockdown nationwide is supposed to start next week. Get in while you can. Yeah, we'll see. Y'all, tell your boss. If you're out of school, tell the principal, tell the headmaster. If you work at a restaurant, if you own a restaurant, if you own a bar, if you're a public place, I got mycleanliving.net pinned in the comments. This is an Air and Surface Pro. This can purify up to 3,000 square feet. Every pathogen, air and surface, clinically proven in FDA compliant lab testing to eliminate the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the virus that causes COVID-19. Like, I'm not saying it's going to get, like, if you have COVID and you go cough in somebody's face, yes, their person is going to be infected. But if I sneeze on this desk, within 3 minutes, anything that just came out of my nose is completely neutralized because of that thing. Go read the website. Go to the website, click the Hall of Fame tab, and you can see all the signs on it. It's incredible. Now, Brandon, I agree with that. Pell's making the 10th pick for the Grizzlies is stupid. I completely agree with that. I thought they did fix that, by the way. Christopher Merrill. What's up, Christopher Merrill? Hope you're doing good, bro. Can't believe Tampa Bay wins a Super Bowl with the Bucks his first year with them, who sucked a year prior. The man is that good. Yeah. Daniel Dorn. Christopher Merrill, over, under for the UCLA game. If it's 65, put my money on the over. I haven't seen the total on that game. I just saw the spread. The spread was 4.5. Stephen Robeek. Jefferson's Chef Collab, batch 17. Sample courtesy of my boy, Stephen Robeek. Cheers, buddy. Oh, Kirk, the pod talk again. Charlie Pennison went ziplining with Climbworks in Gatlinburg. Hell yeah, dude. That was a lot of fun, man. Glad you enjoyed. Who's your guide? What was our guy's name? God dog it, now I'm forgetting his name. He was good, though. He was really good. Nick Dana. What's up, Nick? Curious, honest question. Are you correlating this team to 2018 because 17 and 20 were disappointing and Ed has proven to flip the script? In part, Nick, I do think that's true, but I think the teams are similar. In 2018, you obviously had Burrow coming in at quarterback. In 2018, you had a not great offensive line. I don't think this unit is going to be fantastic. You had Nick Brissett and Clyde, two unproven backs, but Brissett emerged in his senior year. You have a couple of unproven backs now, but I'm banking on one of them stepping up. You always have talent at receiver, which this team does. The difference, obviously, is you had Dave Aranda as your defensive coordinator, and he was a stud. And, you know, but I love Cade York. Cole Tracy was awesome. Like, I think LSU's positioned to win some close games because of special teams. I just think it's similar. I think it's a very similar, you know, layout there. Let's see. Hope one day Coach O can hire the right staff, get the magic back from 2019. Obviously, no one will have those stats. Get back to where we are always fearing Bama. They went back to spanking us again last year. So much of that is just by having the right guy, the right trigger man. We'll see. Neil, isn't the secondary the strength of the team? So here's the thing, Neil. Your corners last year weren't the problem. I mean, Stingley only played in 7 games and he battled injuries, but Ricks was good. Dwight McLaughlin was good. Jay Ward was good. I mean, your corners weren't the problem. Your problem was you had horrendous safety play and you had a completely disjointed secondary. The way it was described to me is like this. It was Ryan Clark who described it. He's right. You had Bill Bush, coach of the safeties. You had Corey Raymond, coach of the corners. That would be akin to having an offensive line coach that coaches the tackles and another coach that coaches the guards. At practice, they go their own separate ways, and then you come together for a team period and say, all right, now go run it. Don't work that way. So having them all back with Corey running the whole unit now, I think will be so much better because those kids love Corey. They'll play their ass off for him. They'll listen to him. They didn't listen to Bill Bush. Bill Bush was the kind of guy that got red-faced, screamed, MF'd the kids, ripped them up and down. You know, he is that kind of coach. It didn't resonate with the players. So anyway, Neil, to answer your question, The corners are going to be awesome. I got to see if safety plays any better. You bring in Major Burns from Georgia. You move Jay Ward back there. You bring in 3 freshmen, including Sage Ryan, who's number 1 safety in the country. Jordan Tolles played a bunch for you last year, and Todd Harris is back for his senior year. Can you find some competent safety play out of that group? Let's see. If you can, I think they can be really good. But your safeties last year were atrocious. Kicking the tires, lighting the fires. Matt French, no one wants to see cupcake games become USL kicking the crap out of Texas. We'll be rooting for the Bulldogs. I mean, I'll cheer for Texas to lose that game for sure. Michael Sutherland, can you share the text number? The text number? What text number? For my phone, for the show text line is 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. That goes to it's an app called Community. So I have to pay every month for that app. And what it allows me to do is receive text messages, but it also allows me to text the whole group. So everybody today who got the text about an hour ago that I was live, I just went into the Community app, texted everyone that's a member of that community, and boom, everybody got that text message. So in a way, it kind of allows me to send messages to you. That's the benefit of it. So like, if I want to send you the HUDCO website, say storm comes through, hey, you need a roof inspection, HUDCO, boom, I can text all of you to your phones right away. That's the benefit for me. But I'm certainly not going to, violate that or abuse that. Trade isn't official till August 6th, so it hasn't been fixed. No, I know the trade's not official, but I thought they were, as far as draft night and the changing the hats and all, I thought Adam Silver fixed that. John Voorhees, is Clemson coming to the SEC? John, I wouldn't rule out anything, bro. Stephen Robeek, I like that one. Great profile for low proof. I agree completely. Stephen, the one I had last night, I forget which one I texted you that I had. It was good. Had some burn on the front, buttery caramel finish. It was really good. Got to remember which one it was. Steve Marenta, what does C&D really mean? Cease and desist means stop. Stop or we'll sue you. Morgan Kroll, unrelated, loved your son's story as Carly's first little rainbow angel. His smile is infectious. Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. By the way, so what Morgan's referring to, and again, I told you, Nightcap, I kind of ramble a little bit. We have some pours and whatever, and we hang out. And I'll stay here for as long as y'all. 72 still hanging out. 73 on YouTube, only 36 on Facebook. Dude, YouTube's taking over the world, bro. I love y'all. Please smash that like. I love YouTube here on Facebook. I love y'all. Let me get another pour. I'll tell y'all this. All right, Robeek, what we doing, bro? Look at my guy, dude. All right, so my guy, Stephen Robeek. That's my boy. So Stephen's daughter, Penny. So Stephen and I met at Texas Children's Hospital. They live in Central. His daughter, Penny, was in the NICU when Drew was in the NICU. So we met there, obviously 2 families from nearby in Texas and at Texas Children's, and we've stayed friends, man. Love them. They're just awesome, awesome people. Stephen and Carly Robeek, great friends, man. So Stephen, it was the Templeton Rye. That was it, Stephen. That's the Woodford Weeded. All right, the Templeton Rye is what I had, Stephen. Willett Pot still, not going to go there. Ooh, the Pinhook Ride On. Got him. That's where we're rolling next, Robeek. In a glass. All right, brother. Pinhook Ride On. Let's go. Yeah, bro. So, cheers, y'all. So what Morgan's referring to, so of course you all know Carly McCord, who produced AFR, was a great friend, obviously. when Carly died, the family asked me and Mike Detillier to read at the funeral. He and I read at Stephen and Carly's wedding. We did the readings at the wedding, so they asked us if we would do the readings at the funeral. Of course, was honored. And I never met Carly's sister, Kaylee. I never met her. For all the years I knew Carly, I never met her sister. Well, let me take that back. I met her at the wedding. But Kaylee called me. Let's see. The accident was on a Saturday, and the funeral was the following Saturday. So Kaylee called me, I want to say, on Thursday, and told me, Carly always loved Drew, and always wanted to do something for Drew. And by the way, Carly never told me that, ever. We never had that conversation. I mean, I knew she loved Drew. We talked about that, but she never told me she wanted to do something for Drew or anything like that. And so Kaylee, who, aside from her 9 to 5, she has a business partner, and they have a children's clothing brand called Little Luann. And they created Carly's Little Angels, the Rainbow Collection. And the intention was to have this limited run line that they sold and raise money. Whatever they made on the sales, they were going to donate to a family. Well, the idea was to donate it to Drew. So the first year they did that. And her idea was every year subsequently was to have the recipient nominate another family. So we were honored to do that this year. So we nominated the Morales family. In a strange twist, one of the little boys at therapy where Drew goes, who ended up in a lot of sessions together, is Michael Morales. Well, Michael's dad, Derek, went to Catholic High and graduated with me. And we weren't great friends or anything, but if you just think about it, look at our names. Morales and Moscona. Derek and I alphabetically were right next to each other in the graduating class. So our locker was next to each other for 4 years. We sat next to each other at graduation. It was Derek Morales, me, and then Matt Moses. I mean, so it's a crazy twist that we connected all these years later because of our kids. But anyway, so Michael's had a lot of struggles of late, so we nominated them. So the Morales family is this year's recipient. That's what Morgan is referring to there. So what I would really recommend, anyway, where I was going with that is Drew doesn't really fit the clothing line, but this year Kaylee did blankets, and the blankets are incredible. So we bought one of the blankets for Drew, and I want to convince her to sell those year round, because the clothes are seasonal, obviously, but the blankets are timeless. Anybody could use it. So I want to convince Kaylee to sell those year round. Anyway, y'all look up Little Luann. That's Carly McCord's sister, Kaylee. That's her business, and that's the Carly's Little Angels Rainbow Collection that they did for a great cause. So if you'll excuse the deviation there, but that's what that was. Let's see. Jeremy Thibodeau, why did 2 secondary coaches work in 19? Great question, Jeremy. Because the team was really good. And when things are going good and people are winning, it's easier to take direction. When you don't trust your coaches and things are going badly, that's when it derails. What does it prevent ESPN from doing? Nothing, really. And if you think Disney ain't lawyered up and ready to take that, oh, bro. Caleb Hassan, who starts at quarterback. So, Caleb, I've been saying all along that I think Miles Brennan takes the first snap of the season. Now, if he keeps I think both guys play against UCLA, whether he keeps the job terms with how good he plays. But I've said I think Brennan takes the first snap. But Orgeron did say at SEC Media Days that that they'll have a competition, but if they just determine who they think is the best, they'll just play that guy. And I think Jake Peets wants the RPO game part of what they do. And if that's the case, Max Johnson's the better guy for the RPO game. Let's see. Rich Whitlow, Michael McNett, Trey Day, Glenn Laurie. Lil Dude, Matt, what does your thumbnail mean? I don't know. Oh, the title on the episode, the C&D. So the Big 12 sent ESPN a cease and desist today. Nyquilus, Matt, you want to do whiskey and wine, WHINE. We both drink whiskey and I whine about stuff. Are you going to show up dressed like Nyquilus Dillwad? Billy Flanagan. Brian and Andy Pitton. Go through Cincy in a few hours. Give a shout out from Matt from Burrow and Chase. Got it, man. Boy, they're going to be fun to watch this year. Let's see. Damon, trying to get into whiskey. Got a 10-year Russell Reserve for my first pick. Do you have that one on? What shelf is it on? I have 2 Russell Reserve picks actually in the cabinet down there. But Russell Reserve is good stuff. I mean, that's wild turkey juice, and it's good. Yeah, Russell Reserve is really good. That's a really good choice. Trade day, odds, have Cam Thomas to the Pels. Thoughts? Sorry if you mentioned it. All good, man. I don't know. I've seen him mocked anywhere from 14 to Golden State, 20 to Atlanta, and points in between. So we'll see how it goes. Cliff Nelson, football injuries suck. Surgery from football injuries sucks worse. Personal experience. Don't blame Mike Thomas for trying to rehab first. It's kind of the point, right, Cliff? I mean, here's the thing I know. A lot of people, when you get medical opinions, you get multiple opinions until you hear what you want to hear. You get the opinion that you want to hear. Rich Whitlow, Andalusia striker from Texas, smoked TC whiskey, single malt. Single malt, that's Scotch. It's a Joey Gallo. I'm Joey Callow. Joey Gallo's dead. Joey Callow. Great line. Great movie. I have to pick one pitcher going forward on your team, Gosman or Nola. Nola. And no disrespect, Gosman's been incredible this year. But this has been Gosman's breakout year. Nola's been incredible since he's been in the league, and I think he'll only continue to get better. Pumped for Gosman, though. Really excited for him. John Bauman, what's up? Craig Duca. All right, Chad, it's Weller Wednesday. Do I go with Antique or 12? Always go with the 12, bro. Look, man, when you run for a living, getting cut on the ankle is a last resort. That's true. Ryan Dunn, do you think the college football season has fans? Feels like they're prepping us for not having fans. So, Ryan, I think we will have fans. I think we in Louisiana are the second least vaccinated state. But we're the most hell-bent on being at live events and not shutting down. And as the rest of the country remains vaccinated, they'll move forward. And I think the NFL is moving forward regardless. So, I mean, that train is rolling. It was really good, by the way. Pinhook does good stuff. Nyquilus, give us a random ski story, either the dude or the snow sport, either way. So Ski is Ski Batansky, a.k.a. Dr. Frank Anthony Batansky III, who is also my best friend. God, I have a ton of ski stories. Jesus. Ski ran naked through the quad. He recreated the scene from Old School. He ran naked through the quad at the gymnasium, like at LSU. He started in the corner opposite Middleton and ran through, got butt ass naked and ran through the quad. I'm, by the way, also his daughter's godfather. Went to med school at St. Matthew's in Grand Cayman. I went and visited him. We would buy a 20-pack of Red Stripe from the gas station next door every morning, crush it, spend the entire day in a drunken haze. It was a wonderful week. We'd eat poutine from Pete. Oh, here's a good story. Okay, here's a really good story. If you ever go to Grand Cayman, there was a bar in Grand Cayman called the Pirate's Den. Look it up. PD's, as the locals call it. It's a locals bar. There is an LSU flag. I presume it's still there. There's a purple flag with block LSU behind the bar at PD's. That is my flag that I gave to Ski to sign and give to the owner of PD's to hang behind the bar. I presume it's still there. But if you ever go to Grand Cayman, go to the Pirate's Den, look behind the bar for the purple flag signed by Ski, and know that that was a flag that I owned that I gave to him to give to plant there permanently. How about that story? How about that one? Edge of the boot, go Red Sox. Oh, yeah, I'm sure a lifelong suffering Red Sox fan, right? Let me guess, Red Sox fan since 04. Really, going on a limb there. James Fortenberry, Kyle Milliken, Craig Duga. How soon do you see Texas and OU in the SEC rotation? Craig, I don't think it's going to be next year. I think 2023. Nyquil, what's the black box over your right shoulder? So explain that. This is the Air and Surface Pro from mycleanliving.net. Y'all have heard me talk about it. Mycleanliving.net. This is the box that at NASA technology, clinically proven in FDA lab testing. This purifies up to 3,000 square feet, air and surface. Any pathogen if it's COVID, strep, flu, staph, common cold, any virus, pathogen, odor, that'll purify it. At your place of business, your home, you're worried about a spike in cases, boom. mycleanliving.net. Here, I'll put the link again in the comments. All right. So Kyle, the reason that next season may not be possible is contractually those schools have to give 18 months notice. Now, they did say they would stay until 2025, but if the Big 12 dissolves prior to then, they could get out of their grant rights, presumably. All right, Cliff, what's the soonest and latest you think the title line issue can be resolved? Oh, God. You have to define resolved. I mean, if you're talking about all of the lawsuits, years. Matt, did you see the inside the park homer the Red Sox had? I did not. Nyquil, y'all made me bust out the Irish whiskey. There you go, bro. Jonathan Hamlet, Val Browning. Are there any surprises with names Coach O throughout today? No, Val. The surprise was him saying that he thought the offensive line was the strength of the team, because I don't believe that. I'm going to have to see that. Alex Day, how realistic is Xavier Howard? So here's the thing with Xavier Howard, Alex. I love the idea. And if the Dolphins are willing to trade him, I would easily take him on and give him the contract that you were going to give Marshawn Lattimore. You just have to decide, who would you rather pay? Marshawn Lattimore or Xavier Howard? And understand, if it's Xavier Howard, you're going to have to give up at least a first rounder, probably a one and more to get him, and then have to pay him. So you just got to decide. Are you hitching your wagon to Marshawn Lattimore or a guy like Howard? Walker Yaw, if you end up going to UK, you should go to Keeneland. I'd love to. I would do that. Matthew Pittman, what happened to Jordy? I hate that he's gone. Haven't listened to Off the Bench since. Matthew, this is not my place to say, man. That was a business thing, and has nothing to do with me. Like literally nothing to do with me. If Jordy's not going to say anything about it, that's just not my place. Jimmy James, 2007, when Buddy Sanjay ruled BR Sports Talk. I worked with Buddy back in 07. Buddy was great to me, man. Not my style of show. Like, I don't really do the caller-driven thing, but Buddy was great to me. He was absolutely fantastic to me. When I was a broke dick trying to make a way, he'd give me tips every now and again. He'd slip me a 20 here or there for doing a good job. When he'd do remotes, he'd get me fed. Always gave me an opportunity to be on mic. I mean, I love the guy. He was so good to me. Yeah. Chris Allen, man, my bro Scone getting the shot. The COVID shot? Yeah, we'll go tomorrow. What does that mean? What's the white dot mean? I respect your decision, though. I mean, Chris, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I don't give a shit what you think. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I mean, fuck. I got an immunodeficient 7-year-old and the virus is now affecting young people. You don't think I'm going to do whatever the fuck I can to protect my kid? Fuck you. I mean, not really fuck you, but you know what I mean. Not you, just generally speaking. Michael Nooner, how do you find time for all your professional endeavors? Full-time radio, morning podcast, HUDCO, some special needs. Where do you find the time? Cheers. Michael, you know what it is, man? It's just auditing my time. Like, here's the thing, Michael. And thank you, by the way. I don't waste a lot of time. Like, when my eyes open in the morning, there's just not a lot of time doing nothing, or I don't watch Netflix. I don't play video games. I don't whereas at night, some people might be hanging watching TV. I'm doing this, right? In the morning, when some people come up or wake up and they may put the TV on, I do morning Scone. I get to work and I'm not wasting time. I record Locked on LSU. I'm prepping for AFR. I'm doing HUDCO stuff. It's but that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy business. I enjoy those victories in life. I don't know. I don't need to sit, I don't sit around and watch TV. I don't have Netflix. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's just, everybody's different. That's just me. Wesley Randall, he has a supportive wife. That's how. UCLA had a starting offensive lineman arrested. Wow, that's incredible. I'm going to look that up. Thank you, Cortland. I didn't see that. Good looking out, man. Let's see. Hester said the pod idea was him enduring at supper during media day, something like that. Look, man, I know Peter Burns has been talking about the pod thing for years. And Cliff, the landline is Erica. You know that. James Fortenberry, I think pods suck. Why? Why? This is mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling to me that somebody, I don't understand literally how somebody can think that the current format where you play your division one permanent bullshit, which is basically only to preserve Auburn, Georgia, and Bama, Tennessee. That's the only reason that shit exists, is to preserve those two games that nobody outside of those four fans fly. It's amazing to me that people think this structure works. This is the inherent problem with college football, which is why we are where we are, because fans have been force-fed shit for 100 years, and you buy it. College football has the most meaningful regular season. No, it doesn't. It literally has the least meaningful regular season. It is the only sport in the history of the fucking world where you can win every game you play and you don't even get a chance to play for a championship because some arbitrary bullshit of some dude sitting in a room decided this team's better than you. Fuck that. It's literally the worst system ever. We are just passionate about the teams we love. And so you buy the bullshit hook, line, and sinker. LSU and McNeese, you're really going to try to sell me on LSU McNeese because Cody Orgeron's the quarterback? It can be a fucking 50-point spread if it's even on the board. Who wants to see that shit? Like, that's novel for a minute. Like, I mean, I'm not wishing ill upon that. I hope McNeese wins every game they play except the LSU game. Like, that, I love Frank Wilson, and I hope they do awesome. But it's like, as an LSU fan, why do you want to watch that game? That's a horseshit game. Like, give me a game I want to see. Anyway. Be fair, just tune in. How would they divide the new conference? That's what we were talking about a little bit about the pods. You wouldn't theoretically have divisions. You'd have 4 14 pods where you play the 3 teams in your pod. You could preserve those rivalries. And you play 2 teams from each of the other 3 pods in a 9-game schedule. And so every 4 years, think about that. Every 4 years, if you played at LSU or anywhere, wherever you played in the SEC in a 4-year period, if you stayed for 4 years, you would play in every venue in the SEC, and everybody would play in your venue. It makes too much sense. Oh no, we got to protect the fucking LSU Florida game because everybody just is aching to watch that. Cliff Nelson, really hope you get Sean Salisbury to replace Mike D. You know, Cliff, I don't know that I'm going to get anybody for an hour the more I think about it. But I am going to reach out to Sean to see if he'll do something weekly with me. Putting Bama in a pod with Tennessee and Vandy isn't equal, but if you put Auburn in there as well, it is. And you got to keep in mind also, Cortland, that, like, not everything is cyclical. Like, you do realize there was a 2-decade stretch where Bama sucked ass and Tennessee wrecked that series. I mean, that's going to come again. Like in the year 2430, when Nick Saban finally dies after winning his 300th championship, like, Tennessee could be good again. Kyle Milken guarantee should have gotten Mike D to the early afternoon slot. Yeah, I don't think he was driving in from Matthews, Louisiana, or Raceland every day. That trip to New Orleans is much easier than Baton Rouge. Oh, God. Dog just ate a tarantula. Are you kidding me, Nyquilus? We have tarantulas in Louisiana? Oh, God. Put Texas A&M, Missouri, and Arkansas on a pod. So, James, the pod structure that the SEC Network put up had LSU, A&M, and the Mississippi schools. The other pod was Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Vandy, and then Kentucky, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. So basically every pod would have 2 dominant teams and 2 teams. Do you think there's a chance of the Big 12 inviting ULL to join their conference? Dustin, I don't think the Big 12 is going to exist. Like, because, I mean, you have to think of it this way. If you're any of the remaining teams in the Big 12, you are leaving if you have the opportunity to join a power conference. So if the Pac-12 wants Baylor or Kansas State or TCU, whoever, they're going. If the Big 10 wants Kansas or for basketball, like, they're going. If the ACC wants West Virginia, they're going. It's a done deal. So with every defection, the Big 12 gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So any school that would leave its present conference to go into the Big 12 is basically making a lateral move because the Big 12 sucks. There's nothing good there anymore. So I think the Big 12 dissolves, is when it goes away, is what happens. Bradley Hawthorne, Matt, I know you probably have already talked about this. What's going to happen to the return game that Texas was supposed to honor? Be a conference game now, bro. Actually, I haven't talked about that, Bradley, but just it'll be a conference game. Jonathan Kerr, maybe been asked, what vaccine are you taking? Asking for a friend. Actually, don't know. I'm going to the Baton Rouge General Highland Road Express Care Clinic. I think it might be Moderna. I really don't know. Eric Douglas, hi, Matt. How's the weight loss? Thank you for asking, man. Great, dude. I'm pumped. Did Ideal Protein at Aesthetic. I was around 227 when I started. Got down to 205, which was my target weight. And during the week, I really stay very rigid on it. And then the weekends, I kind of let myself go a little bit. And I maintain right there in that, like, 205, 210 range, and I'll fluctuate a little bit in there. So I like it, man. I like how I feel. I like how I look. I don't want to really get small. I just didn't want to carry an extra 25, 30 pounds. So I feel good, man. I feel really good. It's been great to maintain. I like the food. Yeah, it's been good. Hey, yeah. A lot of questions tonight.
Huh?
A lot of questions tonight. Yeah. I deleted my YouTube too much work. Yeah. Nyquilus, man, I want a vaccine. I'm going to wait longer to make sure there's no unseen side effects. Nyquilus, I'm with you, man. That's exactly where I was. That's where I was. I mean, I get the flu shot every year, but I wasn't going to get the COVID vaccine for that exact reason. It's too new. But when I look at the statistics and I see that younger people are susceptible to the COVID variant, like, I'm concerned about my kid. And if something happens to me because I get the vaccine, fuck it, okay. But if it helps me protect my son, I'm going to do it. But I'll die for my kid. Alex Day, grew up with Carly and her sister Kaylee. Such a sweet girl, she sorely missed. Yeah, man. Had coffee with Miss Karen. So Carly's mom, Miss Karen, one of the unexpected blessings out of that tragedy is that I've gotten really close with their family. Miss Karen and I, like, every so often we'll just go and sit and have coffee. We end up sitting there for 2 hours just talking, and we get along great. So they're an awesome family. I adore them. Jonathan, yeah, I'm a Cajun. If I lose my sense of taste, put a bullet in my head. I'll tell you this, Jonathan, I lost smell and taste with COVID. I still don't have my smell back, but I did get my taste back, thankfully. Brian down, I sold Windows and Matt Moses a few years ago. Awesome guy. Yeah, man, he's a great dude. Moses. Shout out to my boy Wade, sole survivor of the plane crash. I've never heard his story, man. Has he talked at all? Scone, you got an extra Elmer T. Lee. I know a guy who has an extra Weller 12. That guy's me. I know Weller 12 is your jam ball. Craig, we might just be able to make a trade. Might just be able to make a trade, friend. Jonathan, I don't want the money I'll pay for traveling Tigers to go to waste because I didn't get a flu shot. Dude, I'm the same way, bro. Like, I want to go to that game, dude. They're not going to keep me out of that venue because I didn't get a shot. You know? Anyway. Big house spider. Let's see. Craig, I missed the BCS era. Used to be so invested in 80% of the games and actually enjoyed bowl season. Now I don't care about bowl season at all, just the playoffs. Well, Craig, like, that's all fine and good, but bowl season was always a farce and total bullshit. I mean, the fact that we have 40 bowl games exposes exactly what bowl season is. It's just a money grab from old dudes in suits. Like, that's all it is. It was never meaningful. College football's postseason has always been a giant crock of shit. It's what it is. Like, would you feel better because you got a fucking Independence Bowl trophy? Like, kick rocks. Peanut butter whiskey with Yinling Hershey Porter is awesome. Interesting. Jackson Carney, Matt, how do you think LSU is set up long term with NIL, given Louisiana doesn't have the market size, relatively poor state? So, good question, Jackson. I'll tell you this. It doesn't matter. When the Miami booster came out, it was like, hey, we'll give $500,000 a year so every kid on the team gets something. They all get a few $100, whatever. He's like, man, I hope others join in, yada, yada. Have others joined in? I'm not going to disclose terms of deals that I know have been done, but I will continue to reiterate what I have said over and over again, which is you would be astonished if you knew what market value was. Dudes aren't getting hundreds of thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. There might be a select few at the very top of college, like the most recognizable, that get those types of deals and opportunities. But on average, like to what you're talking about is scale. Like if you don't have a vast amount of business owners, like could you support at that level all these kids? And the answer is no, but that's not the point. Like what you're going to see more of is Trey Morgan putting on a baseball camp, which is about to happen. Like a social media post with a Raisin Cane's box combo or something, right? Like, I wish you knew what they were actually making. I'm not going to say it, but like, it ain't what you think it is, like the average business owner can afford to in any town can afford the type of NIL deal that's being doled out. Put it that way. Still don't have smell, Mike Willis. Never got my smell back. Thankfully, I can taste, which is weird because you would think, the two should be combined, but I can taste, but I can't smell. Never got my smell back. Craig, I got the vids back around Thanksgiving. I did too. Taste is back, sense of smell is funky. Get sulfur dried, blood nose. I don't get that. I just can't smell. David Roberts shot not effective against Delta variant. That's factually inaccurate. I have an issue that some players are clearly getting paid for school. They'd rather for the school they go to rather than marketability of the player. Name one. And if you say Bryce Young, you're full of shit. Cortland, name one. Name one player that's getting paid because of the school they go to as opposed to the quality of the player. Name one. And if you say Bryce Young, you're full of shit. Name one. I'll wait. Kyle Milliken, BitBoy Crypto has been taken down? Are you serious? No way. I wonder what happened. Are you serious? That can't be true. What? They took down his page? What happened? So for those who don't know, BitBoy, guy named Ben Armstrong, has a YouTube channel with more than 1 million followers. Oh my God. Holy shit. I can't believe that. That's crazy. Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to be like, so BitBoy Crypto is the largest crypto YouTube channel there is. Like, he has the largest crypto following. And YouTube deleted his channel. Oh my God. Wow. And the thing that's so significant about that, y'all, is like, yeah, that guy's made a ton of money in crypto, like super rich. But the crazy thing about that is, like, when you have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and when you have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and you have a verified page, you're making money on Google AdSense. So when all of your posts are hitting tens or hundreds of thousands of views, like, you are making millions of dollars annually on Google AdSense money. Like, they just took down his page, which was making him millions of dollars. Oh, wow. Wow. That's incredible. Oh my God. Bro. Yeah, Cortland. About the Bryce Young thing. Bryce Young has not made $1 million. Nick Saban said he had deals approaching 7 figures. I will tell you with certainty, he has not signed contracts. He does not have $1 million in the bank. If you have offers for opportunities that approach it, that's one thing. And when you are a 5-star quarterback, and I told you this would happen, by the way, if you've actually paid, not you, Cortland, but just in general, if you've actually paid attention to what I've said, the smartest thing that the major companies the major players can do, the Nikes, Under Armours, the smartest thing those guys can do is get athletes at a relative bargain in college. Because, put it to you this way, what if you could have signed Trevor Lawrence as a freshman at Clemson instead of waiting until he had gone 3 years and was the #1 pick in the draft? When do you think you could get him at a more valuable price? That's what these companies would be betting on with Bryce Young or anybody else who's a top athlete. But that still doesn't mean that he's getting that money. That's not because the local car dealership in Tuscaloosa has fed that kid $1 million. It's fucking stupid. Like, that's not real. Like, and I've said this 1 million times, but I live in this world. I make my living on endorsements. I have a base salary, which is not very much. I make money on endorsements. That's why I'm so measured about who I partner with. Why do you think I choose great companies like Relief Windows and South Point Volkswagen, the largest Volkswagen dealer in the state, GMFS Mortgage, the largest local lender in Louisiana, Sazerac Rye, $1 billion brand? Like, why do you think I choose these companies? Because I'm attaching myself to premium brands and great businesses with wonderful people that are awesome operators. They're going to take care of me, because, like, that's how we become mutually beneficial to each other. Like, I know this space. I am an expert in this space. This is my living. This is my life. I know everything there is to know about this at scale, at a small market, a medium market, a major market, national, digital, radio, TV. Like, I know it. I know it front and back. I know the numbers. I know everything about it. I know everything there's to know about this. Like, if you think there are businesses in Tuscaloosa feeding Bryce Young 7 figures because he's the Alabama quarterback, you're full of shit. I'm flatly telling you, does not happen. There is absolutely no structure in place that would allow that to happen. None. Kentucky's best hemp, Mason Siegel, thank you. I'm about to smash some Dilla wafers in milk. Craig, if you crack that Weller 12, and that's the one you were going to give to me, bro. Nyquil, who's giving him 7 figures? Did you just listen to a fucking word I just said, goddammit? Or are you just pouring your fucking milk and vanilla wafers? Did you listen to a word I just said? He don't have 7 figures. That's Nick Saban being brilliant because he's talking to recruits, basically saying, Mike, which, by the way, nobody will ever see a bank statement, so no one can ever check that shit. But I'll tell you for a fact, I know firsthand, Bryce Young does not have 7 figures in endorsements. That's number 1. 2, whatever opportunities he may have, you have companies betting on the come. It's a relatively low price. And this is what I told you will happen all along. And it's going to be even bigger in college. Because if you were Nike or Under Armour or Adidas, you will go to the 10, 20, 30, 40 best high school players that would be one and done guys. And you'll go to them and offer them a deal and try to get them at 18 at a bargain, as opposed to when they become Zion Williamson, number 1 pick in the draft, and now you're paying a 10x multiple on that. What's up, Josh Voorhees? John Voorhees. Morgan, my sister-in-law couldn't smell. 2 days after she got the vaccine, her smell was back. God, I hope that happens for me. That'd be awesome. John Voorhees, I'll do whiskey and wine with you. Thank you, John. One order of spicy scone coming up. Dr. Leo Marvin. That was so good. What about Bob? Let's see, what did Shelby say? As a father, to have someone love your kid enough to want to do something special on any scale is amazing. Amen to that, man. I know I'm way behind on the comments, sorry. We might just be about done, y'all. This might be the longest nightcap ever. We've been going for an hour and 33 minutes. Appreciate y'all watching, man. Y'all are awesome. Craig, how many bottles of Weller 12 you got? Bro, if you got bottles of Weller 12, I got stuff you want. I'll trade you, bro. Come on, how many bottles you got? I'm down to my last bottle. I was really generous with it. Gave a bottle to my brother-in-law when he had a big life moment. Gave a bottle to my cousin. I drank a few. I did. But you got extras, bro. Let's talk. All right. Let's see. Who starts at running back for LSU? Xander 52. I think starting is probably not the right question. Who finishes the season as the leading rusher? Flip a coin, bro. I'll go John Emery. Ed keeps talking about Ty Davis Price, but I think Emery's your home run hitter. Let's see, Golf South, what's up, man? Don't NIL deals have to end when the athletes leave college, though? I'm pretty sure one of the guests on your show or OTB said that. So even if Nike got them cheap at 18, what's pro still cost? No, they don't. Says who? There's literally nothing to govern NIL deals. Each state has their own laws, and that could vary state by state. When you become pro, you make money in another state. There's nothing to prevent that. And even if you have to sign them to, like, I'll give you a for instance, Gulf South. What if you could do a deal at 20 grand for Zion while he's in the 11th grade? And then he becomes Zion. And even if you have to pay market value, he's loyal to you because you did the deal with him when he was in the 7th grade. And so you get him instead of losing him to Nike or Under Armour or Adidas or whatever. Still makes sense. Getting one athlete like that, like Under Armour getting Steph Curry makes their company. Nike getting LeBron makes their company for 2 decades. Like, like LeBron signed in 2003. LeBron signed a 7-year, $90 million endorsement. His contract now with Nike is estimated that it could exceed $1 billion. It goes to show you what having one LeBron means to a company like Nike. Like, so if you could assure yourself that you're attaching yourself with that guy at 18 and he becomes the guy, okay. You have 3 Weller 12s, Craig. All right. What do you want for him? Let's do a deal. Make me an offer. Make me an offer, Craig. NyQuil, Matt, did y'all get another dog after Valley? Now I'm a little curious why you know my dog's name. Maybe from my sister? So Valley was my dog. As a matter of fact, that's her right there. That's Valley. And Valley, we then had Maggie right there. And we had them at the same time. They are both now gone. As a matter of fact, they are, well, they're in boxes up on the shelf. And Erica had a dog named Turkey, a Maltese, and Turkey's gone to the big dog pen in the sky as well. But no, I've not gotten another dog since. Erica desperately, Drew loves dogs, and Erica desperately wants to get a dog for Drew, but I don't want to spend the money or have the added responsibility of a dog. I would love a dog, but I just don't want the added responsibility or money because Drew is a lot, honestly. All right, Craig, you got a deal. Deal. Tell me how we meet up. You got a deal. Nike Golf wasn't a thing before Tiger. The athlete sells the brand. Bingo. Under Armour was a lacrosse brand. Bingo. Oh. Matt Robichaux, we hung out when I had my boxer, told me about it. God, dog, how long ago was that? Valley was born. Now we've gotten to the point of the night where I'm telling you the year my dead boxer was born. Valley was born on June 27th. June 26th of 2004. No, June 27th. Valley was May 26th. Maggie was May 26th, Valley was June 27th, 2004. Been a long time. When did you see? Yeah, you're not derailing the show. I mean, I could just ignore you if I wanted to. Huh. I love my dog. Cliff, since no new dog, what about the golf cart? You know what, Cliff? Maybe Hudco will buy a golf. Maybe Hudco will buy a golf cart, right? Maybe so. Jordan made Nike. That's true, John. That's very true. Grant Wallace, I believe you, but if they did make $1 million, who cares? Good for them. Grant, I'm with you 100%, bro. $1 million%. Jared Clark Honeycutt, at what point does the Big 12 say, F the contract penalties, we no longer are a conference? Well, they don't want that, right? Like, they want to maintain their status. They're going to fight for it, but they're not going to win. Cortland, I remember you talking about your dog on Morning Scone. Yeah, dude, my dog was awesome. Like, Valley was the greatest dog ever. I love Valley. Miss her a lot. Cried a lot when she died. Cliff, the YouTube proceeds can pay for the tens of dollars I make on YouTube. Nyquilus, deep down inside, you want me on your chat. You need me on your chat. I'm actually good, but, you know, I appreciate you being here. You stalk me in church and stuff like that. You know, I'm glad you're here and all, but all right, two more. Craig, can't wait for Frank Williams Wade to beat up on Texas and OU on the reg. And Alex Day, Matt, at this point in the night, I've drank nearly a pint of Knob Creek. I love Scone after dark. And you know what, Alex? We're going to be right back here around 7:30 a.m. for a little morning Scone. And someone's going to say, I feel like we just saw you. All right, I'm done. Boxers are the best dogs ever, but we're a Beagle family now. See, here's the problem with Beagles, Nyquilus. The barking, bro. Our neighbor has a Beagle. Great dog, Slater. And super dog. I mean, I love them. They're adorable. They're great. The barking. Can't do it, man. Can't do it. This is the best version of Scone. This is kind of the always version of Scone. You just don't get to hear me curse on the air. That's the problem. And Nyquilus, I don't open the chat during AFR because there's too much mindless shit that doesn't matter to me at all, that I'm not going to waste my time sifting through to get to the thing that I might actually use on air. I've somehow had a lot of success without it. I'm good. Yep, see, she howled. Told you. All right, Cortland, good night, man. Cliff, good night, brother. Love you, man. Have a great night. Best to Colby, man. When you talk to her, tell her I said hey. All right, y'all. We are done. Thanks for hanging out. HUDCO. I hung out all night. Y'all can call HUDCO. Let us come do a roof inspection. Roof inspection. HUDCO roof inspection. HUDCO roof inspection. HUDCOroofing.com. HUDCO. See y'all.